So if you remember from our previous discussion, to solve this in brute force, we need to range through all the elements in the array. So let's have that. So for I is equal to 0, I is less than the length of nums, and then I plus plus. And then, so this will be iterating through all the elements here to the right. Okay, but we also need to check all the elements to the right of this current cursor that we have to see whether any of these elements is a pair of it that could have a sum equal to the target. So we have to iterate to the right as well. So to do that, we need to have another for loop for j is equal to I plus 1. J is less than length of nums, and then j plus plus. And then we need to check whether if these two indices sums up to target. So if nums I plus nums j is equal to the target. If it is, then we already have found our pair. So return a slice of int with the values of I, and j. If we have iterated through the entire array and we still haven't found any pair, then we need to return an empty array. So return, well, it's an empty slice. So return an empty slice. So basically, that's it for the brute force solution. So for this problem, we will just quickly run this in LeetCode since we have already solved it just now. As mentioned, we need to range through the entire elements of num. So I is less than half nums, then I plus plus. And then we need to range through all the elements to the right of the current index. So j equal to I plus 1, j is less than length of nums, then j plus plus. From here, we need to check whether the sum of these two, nums of I plus nums j, is equal to the target. If it's equal to the target, then we have already found our result, so we return pair slice of int, which is I and j. Otherwise, if we have seen all the elements in the slice and we still haven't found a result, then we just return an empty slice. So let's run this and see whether it is correct. So it's running and it's a success. To solve this in an optimal solution, as mentioned earlier, is we need to have a map. So this map will contain the index and the value of all the elements that we have already seen. So we declare a map, and then we will have to range through all the items in our slice. So range nums, and then we need to find the complementing pair. So pair will be equal to nums, should be equal to target minus the current value. Okay, and then if this exists in our map, so we need to get the index, so this complement index, and then is existing, so this will be a boolean. So check if it's in our map, and if it is existing, then we already have found a pair, so return a pair of int, a slice of int. So the values will be our current index, C index, and the current I. Okay, if you haven't found anything, we need to put it in a map. So the current value and the current index that we are in has to be placed in a map. So to do that, just put C and the value, and then it will be equal to I. Okay, if you have finished the entire elements in the array and we still haven't found any pair, then we can already conclude that there is no solution to this problem, so we need to return an empty slice. So basically that's it for the optimal solution. Okay, now, so let's solve this problem using the optimal solution. So as mentioned, we need to have a map. So this will contain both int values or int types for both the key and the value. It will hold all the values and the indices of what we have already seen while we range over through all the elements in nums. Okay, and then p will be equal to target minus v, the current value, and then we will have the index. So p index, if it's existing, so c e. So if the pair is existing in our map, then we already have the result. So we return a slice of int. We will have the p index here and also I. So this is the current index. This is the index of the pair that we have found in our map. Okay. If we haven't found anything, it means that we need to add the current element to the map. So to do that, the key will be the value, while the value of the element in the map will be the index. If we have ranged through all the elements in the array and we still haven't found anything, then we return an empty slice. Okay, so that's that. Now let's run this application. Run this. So okay, so it's running in our first test. Now let's submit this problem. And as you can see, it's a success. So that's that. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you have, just comment it down below. And see you again next time.